What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon jumping back into some Rugby 25 in this video. I thought a lot of people would be really interested to know what is included in the game in early access. We're going to take a look at all of the teams included in the games, all of the competitions you can take part in, as well as all of the various settings and things you can change in the game to maybe make your gameplay experience a little bit better. The game is already up on Steam. You can get involved with the early access for £25. We do already have a video out on the channel playing through a full game. My first experience playing the game. Certainly some hits and some misses going on in that game, but if you want to check out actual gameplay of a live game, feel free to go check that video out after this one as well, so you can get a bit of a better feel for how the game works. Now, starting out with something that I actually mentioned in that video, which I actually got wrong, which I didn't realise. The settings, because this is a really interesting point. So you've got your standard vibration, not really a lot of options there. You can't really change any of your controller schemes and stuff. The camera option is something that I mentioned in the last video. I was really annoyed that there wasn't a sideline camera. Having messed around with it a lot more since, I have found there is a sideline camera, which is much better for someone like me. I know a lot of other people also prefer it. The sideline camera is called high in the settings menu. I don't know why it's called high and not sideline or side. High to me would almost suggest like a bird's eye view. High is what they mean by sideline if you leave the leave the switch camera on fixed as well. That setting is how you get your standard sideline camera. If you swap it to your end balanced, or you swap around your camera switch on the tackle, that is where you'll get the camera fixed behind your team or rotating based on who was tackled and where. Your audio settings are pretty self-explanatory. Probably don't need to dive into them, but there is an awful lot of settings, including all your different music settings that you can turn on. There is some great music, actually. It's really nice to see that there is a lot of song options, because I think we all got a little bit bored in Rugby 20 and Rugby 22 just listening to the same two songs on repeat. And then in your graphics, you can go all overboard with this. Now, I'm playing the game in 2K. It does absolutely go up. It's going to kick off at me, but you can go, pretty high in terms of your graphic settings. I've been playing in 2K. I tend to render the videos down to 1080. But you see, I've got everything running on high quality, everything enabled, about as good as it can be. I haven't really noticed any issues with the game glitching or anything going wrong with the game in terms of the visuals, because I'm running it on, high specs. I have got a pretty good PC, so that's probably one of the reasons why I haven't got that many issues. The control scheme, I did talk about the control scheme a little bit, and there were certainly some issues for me in the way the control works. I'll play a number of other games, of course, which will probably make it a little bit better. I have some personal issues with the way the control schemes are. I really wish there was the ability to change some of these control schemes, such as I would really like the ability to have a separate kick for punting as well as up and unders, whereas you can see below my face it is X for both, and I find that a little bit tricky to use. Of course, feedback back to the developers will always be important, but I'll have a little bit of a flick through so you guys can see what's going on with a bunch of the settings, including one that I think is actually quite useful for line out. You choose whether you throw to the front, middle or back, or you can actually press X and set to the maul. It's something that actually isn't shown in game that you can do that, but if you want to set up a maul from your line out, that is absolutely how you do it. In terms of the teams then, this is probably the area most people want to have a look at. A little bit of a feature that I did see, someone dropped it in a comment, a great shout by them. You can absolutely play this game without playing it. You can let the AI play the AI. You can go into this section and just choose which two teams you want to play. You can watch the AI just absolutely have a massive go at each other. It's kind of fun to watch. They do struggle to get past each other a little bit though, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I would like to see maybe some more tries. Maybe on some harder difficulties it will get slightly better. In terms of the teams that you guys get when you get the early access that is complete right now, you have France and you have Australia as your two photogrammetry complete teams. You see we've got Greg Aldrich there from France, and you know what, the photogrammetry I actually think is pretty good. I'm able to tell basically who every player is as we've been going through it, which has been nice. One thing for me that is a little bit annoying, especially for this early access, is not being able to change your actual team management in the game. There is no setting to be able to change your team, and you will notice that as you play the early access, there are players wildly out of position. The first game I played, I had Malvaca out on the wing, and for those of you who know rugby well enough, Malvaca, of course, being a hooker, probably not the guy you want on the wing, but he's certainly got some decent pace, and I've heard some other people saying in the Australian team they've had other issues with other forwards being out on the wing and so on as well. Taking a look through the teams then. Now, the teams don't really seem to be in any particular order, which I find a little bit weird. I thought maybe they would be in alphabetical, but we'll have a bit of a look through. So we've got Uruguay, which is nice to see, Namibia, the Springboks, which is going to be the first ever rugby game that's going to have like a licensed Springboks team eventually. Scotland are in there, Tonga, Australia, Georgia, a team I definitely want to be playing with, Japan, Argentina, Samoa, Chile, Spain, United States, Hong Kong, China, Brazil, Zimbabwe, Croatia, Paraguay, Uganda, Sweden. A lot of teams included. Very interestingly, there isn't, some of the, the really top ranking teams. We don't have a New Zealand. We don't have an Ireland, which is, what a couple of people were expecting. I thought they'd maybe get those sort of top 10 teams to be in the game. No Wales. Over here for me as a Wales supporter, no Wales to be able to play with either. So there are going to be some of the big teams missing. So if you're wanting to specifically play with any of those teams, you may struggle. Another issue is the actual player rosters. Now, while France and Australia have got a full starting 15, you can't do subs and you will have players out of position. The rest of the teams, unfortunately, don't have their actual players locked in. I played a game as the Springboks. I'll chuck it on screen for you guys. Now, as you can see, as the ball is being passed around, down in the bottom you have someone's name. It is just a number and then what shirt number they're wearing. So they haven't included the names of all the players, which we knew they weren't going to get around to doing the photogrammetry for all of these teams as of yet. It would be nice, again, if there was just the ability to go into a settings menu over here and go into a team settings and manually change the name. I think that would be really nice. Just from a player, I could go in and change it myself. I don't need to wait for an update or something to come out. But unfortunately, we're not going to be getting any of that. So, a nice range, though, of teams that you get to play, especially as the, it's in early access. I wouldn't have been surprised had they only put like 2 or 3 teams in there. So in fact, you get quite a lot of teams to play with is nice. Finally then, checking out the competition. Now the competition is an area I haven't really jumped into, so we can start a new competition. We can begin a team. Do you want to use random teams? Yes or no? Competition style, it can either be a league or knockout, so I like that you get to choose that, especially when we get around to the creation center. If we don't have things like a license, Six Nations and stuff, which, we absolutely are expecting to be in the game at launch, but if there isn't there, I'm sure in the creation center a lot of people will come up with that stuff. Number of clubs included in the tournament. You can choose how many you want. Maybe I want to create the Six Nations, and I just want to have 6 teams in there, season, extra time, extra time or sudden death or golden point, how you're going to decide a draw, or no extra time, you just end in a draw and you get, points from that game. Season, play each other times. I don't know what that means. That sounds like Yoda trying to talk. I genuinely don't know what that means. I assume that means if you were running more than one league at a time, that you would sort of cross over in your leagues or something. How are the finals done? Is it a knockout or is it a grand final? I love that there's all these different options. We'll just select random teams, let it begin, let us create a tournament and see what we've got on the go. This is, you've got to say there's certainly a bit of an outlier in here with the Wallabies in there, but I think this is really nice that you get to see it. You can't see it behind my face, but there is actually a full table, wins, losses, and number of points. There isn't anything there for draws, but I assume draws are kept track of. It's just added in our random teams of where those games are going to be played. We've got set number of rounds of everyone playing each other individually. We've got a nice little table. There's a better table for us to be able to look at. That's just a quick table to look at on that page. We have a better table there. Wins, losses, bonus points coming from that for and against. Again, no mention of a draw there. I assume they're or maybe I accidentally hit random on the golden point or what have you. I actually don't remember what I picked. And then there is your knockout stages for the final. So lots of options to go across there, which I do think is great to have in an early access. The fact you can create a little competition like that and play through the games. But there we have it, guys. This was just a quick look at the actual game itself. It's nice that they have got a number of teams in there. Like I said, if you want to check out actual gameplay of the game, check out the channel. You can go over to my videos. You can see me playing my first ever game, giving my initial reactions to the game. We will, of course, be playing more games on this game as it goes through its development cycle. We'll also be doing a live stream today. If you happen to have caught this video today on the 28th, then we will be doing a live stream today. If you've caught the video afterwards, you can go onto the live tab on the channel and you can have a look. I actually want to really quickly check whether or not you can do the same team. Yes, you can also play same teams. Didn't know that was a thing. You can just have Wallabies going up against the Wallabies. An extra feature they've added into the game. That might be a fun one to do on stream at that point. But hopefully you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. Just a quick look at everything included in Rugby 25, what you get for your £25 early access fee if you buy it on Steam for the PC. I hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.